Hey guys, it's me Jake from JakeMan21642. Today I've got a little family fleet update for you guys. This is my mom's new daily driver. This is a, well, I guess new to us, 2012 Volvo S60 T5. For those of you who have followed my channel for a while, because, God, I don't think I've made a video of this car in at least probably 2 or 3 years. My mom has been driving a 2007 Volkswagen Rabbit, pretty much a fully loaded one, 4-door, 5-speed. It's been a great car, but at this point it's obviously out of warranty and a 12-year-old Volkswagen with over 100,000 miles. So I've kind of been searching for something new for her. I've been sending her different suggestions and things like that she was super attached to that car and would just kind of blow me off. But lately, you know, it's an old Volkswagen, so it's been doing what old Volkswagens do, which is braking. And the check engine light popped on. It ended up just being an evap code, so I told her to keep driving it. Next day, this gets traded in, and I sent it to her. Told her that more than likely I could sell it to her for probably around, well, I don't want to say on video, but under $10,000 is what we bought this car for. And she decided to go for it. So this is a 2012 Volvo S60 T5. This is just a T5 front-wheel drive model. That's more than enough for her. She doesn't need all-wheel drive. For her, that's just more stuff to brake, so that's completely fine with her. The turbo 5-cylinder, once again, is more than enough from her. She's going from 170 to 250 horsepower in this thing. Outside, as you can see by the body side molding and the door edge guards, this car was very obviously owned by an older couple, and they took extremely good care of it. Outside, this one's pretty much equipped like my car. Obviously, mine is a T6 all-wheel drive, but only two things this has that my car doesn't are the parking sensors, as you can see around the rear, and then it is equipped with navigation, which is actually pretty rare for the 2012s. Outside, though, obviously up front, you have the halogen headlights on this one, your LED daytime running lights, and then this one does have the high-pressure headlight sprayers, which is pretty cool. Even though they are halogens, you still have the headlight washers. Parking sensors up front, which she hates, but I think that's actually a pretty nice feature to have considering they street park. She gets in the car and immediately turns them off. Around the side, obviously typical S60 stuff. You can see your body-colored mirrors, body-colored door handles. I wanted to get a video of the car while it was still clean, but you can see there's already water drips and little marks around the car just from where people have touched or leaned against it. The paint on this car is in fantastic shape, especially for a 7-year-old car that's black, but this is still why I can never own another black car. I'm just way too OCD. But I'll go ahead and step in, start it up for you guys. Get inside. Typical Volvo key, once again, same as my car. You can see even the key is in perfect shape. Stepping in, black leather interior. I mean, inside it is basically identical to my car. You can see the leather. I mean, there are some marks on it, but for Volvo leather with 63,000 miles, this is actually in really good shape. And we'll go ahead and start it. Insert the key, foot on the brake, and press. But I'll go ahead and show you guys. Pop the hood. This is the main reason I wanted to go with this S60 versus any other one. So for those of you who don't know, these cars, especially the 2012 T5s, really do have a pretty bad oil consumption problem. So this car was bought new, I believe at a dealership in New York. It was leased, turned in at my dealership, and then we sold it certified. The people we sold it certified to were documenting their oil changes, watching consumption, and about 3,000 miles ago, this car basically got a complete engine rebuild. So like I said, it did have some oil consumption issues. I was even going through the service tickets. They really was not as bad as these get. But it had the piston rings done, head was taken off and rebuilt, everything was machined, obviously. As you can see by the sticker right here, the timing belt was done. That was just done recently. You can see the mileage, 61,052 miles is when all of this happened. And this car currently has just over 63,000 miles. And I'm not worried. I'm not worried that they traded it because it was a bad car or anything like that. The couple that traded this in was originally trying to trade a 2014 S60 T6, but their son was driving this car and he decided he wanted one that was a little newer with less miles. so they traded this instead. But yeah, like I said, pretty much brand new engine in this car, or rebuilt at least, and you can see, I mean, just how clean everything under here is. I talked to multiple guys back in service at my dealership, and they told me that once these have had the piston rings done, this is pretty much a bulletproof engine. We have loaners in service with this engine that have 220, 250,000 miles on them. And even when they're burning oil, these engines will still go for a while as long as you watch the consumption. But I have to say, driving this thing around, I actually drove this for a few days just to make sure it was a good car before I took it over to show my parents. And this 5-cylinder feels so much healthier than most of these cars I get in with this engine at this point. So I really have confidence in it. I really think this is going to be a good car for her. This engine's very, very reliable, like I said, once it has had the oil consumption taken care of. And even if it's not, she got a 4-year, 48,000-mile service contract on it. And the dealership I work at, we own the company that we do the contracts through. So it's not like it's just some third-party thing that's going to deny every claim. But yeah, that's why I really wanted this car. As you can see too, obviously, same Aisin transmission as my car, the 6-speed automatic. But everything under here is so clean, in great shape. It's been dealer maintained its entire life. I have pretty much all of the service records for it. Like I said, outside, halogen headlights, you have the LED DRLs up front. And this was really the thing that made me go, okay, yeah, we need to buy this car. It's also riding on a set of Michelin Premier All Seasons that have about 2,500 miles on them. These are great tires. I used to have these exact same tires on my Accord, and they were, God, I think that car is still on them wherever it is. But they're 215 50R17s. So you have the 17-inch alloy wheels. Rear brake pads were just done. I think the rotors were replaced around like 50,000 miles. But like I said, tires have about 2,500 miles on them. Around the rear, you can see the dual exhaust, the really, really pretty tail lights that this car has. It does still have the factory halogen bulbs. I need to swap those out for LEDs like my car. And then, like, as soon as possible, probably next week, I'm getting all of the windows tinted. Just like her other car, I'm going to do 35 all the way around. We'll jump back inside. I'll give you a quick look around the interior. I said this is pretty much identical to my car. See, Volvo door sills. I've also got a set of all-weather floor mats that fit this car. I just haven't had a chance to throw them in yet. Driver's side window back up. But yeah, like I said, inside pretty much the same as my car. Leather-wrapped wheel, which is in perfect condition. You can see the metal trim on it has been replaced. These will start to peel around the edge, and it actually has a really sharp edge to it. But this has already been done. Another really common thing is the Volvo logos will always peel off and fall off on here. But this one, you can really tell they cared, because this is actually an aftermarket kind of domed logo. These are much better quality and last much longer than the OEM ones. Cruise control, your audio system controls over here, all very nice and simple to use. She's never even had a car with steering wheel audio controls, so she loves that. Over here, your info, reset, all that, bright controls. You can scroll through the display on the gauges, all of that. Door panel, all soft touch, high quality material as you'd expect. You can see the leather. I love in the pre-refresh sedans, the leather has such a nice texture to it versus the 2014s and up. I mean, I always have loved this interior. This was when Volvo really just kind of went a step above on these cars. But over here, all of your automatic windows, your rear window lockout, power mirrors, power locks, electronic parking brake down there, headlight controls, fuel cap, trunk release, your rear fog light. I mean, God, if you guys watch my channel, you know what the inside of these looks like. Gauges, I love this gauge cluster. It's so pretty. My mom said she was really going to miss the gauges from her Rabbit, but I think this is a nice upgrade. This is just such a clean, classic looking cluster. The dashboard, obviously all soft touch. In the center, as I mentioned, the only two things this has that my car doesn't are the parking sensors right there, and then this one is equipped with navigation, which even if my car had navigation, I wouldn't use it. It's the same slow, infuriating to use system as every other Volvo, but it is nice that they have it. My parents like having that in their cars. Radio, satellite radio, obviously, AM, FM, auxiliary, and my mom's never had a car with Bluetooth either, so she's really happy to have that. Stereo's the same one as my car. It sounds great. The stereo in these cars, even when it's not the premium audio system that gives you the center channel up here, it still sounds amazing. I'd say it's probably best in class for the time. And one of my favorite things is you can program this key down here to bring up your equalizer, which is always nice. When you go through and actually really play with that and fine tune it, you can really make this sound great. Radio, media, telephone, all that. Dual zone, automatic climate control, and then heated seats for the driver and passenger, obviously. That, press it, and it will drop the headrest down. And this one, as I mentioned, does have the same Aisin 6-speed auto as my car. Manual mode, then reverse. Does bring up your park assist on there. You can turn that off from right there. 2 cup holders back here, 12-volt outlet, and then storage in there, USB auxiliary in. The seats, as I mentioned, they put the Commodore protection that we upsell people on these, which honestly is not the greatest thing in the world, but I'm gonna get some real leather conditioner and really clean these up. Auto dimming review mirror with your compass built in, all of your interior lighting controls, all of that up there. I'll probably swap these out for LEDs like I did in my car. Passenger airbag indicator, and then the sunroof right there. Garage home link, and your Bluetooth microphone. And we'll step out, I'll show you guys around the rest of the car. And I know I keep saying it really is the same as my car. But, I mean, you can just tell inside and out, this car really belonged to someone who cared about it. And these are really getting to the point where they're starting to get cheap, and people are really starting to tear them up. Inside the back seat, everything follows through. Like I said, it does have the carpeted mats, but I've got a set of all-weathers for it. Back seat is in perfect shape. See the headrest, and pop them back up, just like that. And stepping in, I'm 6'2", my front seat's about where I would sit. I mean, this isn't the Inscription, so it does have a pretty small back seat, but for just 2 people, it's fine. Headrest right there. Do have an armrest in the middle, 2 cup holders and storage. And of course, back seat pockets on each side. And a 12-volt outlet in the middle. And I just love this interior. I know people will say it's outdated, it's button crazy, but for someone like me or my parents, it's so simple, it's so easy to live with. Everything in the center, it basically works just like an old school radio. There's your tune, there's how loud you want it, there you go. Back here too, another thing I love are the Volvo style air vents built up into the pillars. Inside the trunk, yeah, you can see my mom hasn't had a chance to junk up this one yet. But inside, you get a pretty good amount of space for what it is. She does carry around a lot of displays and things like that for work, so I think this will be more than enough for her. And the back seat does fold down. Also do get the little ski paths in between the seats. Under here you have the garbage Connie mobility kit, which looks like, thankfully, has never been used in this one, yeah. That's nice, at least. That's definitely expired. Then you have your jack and everything else. I do plan on getting her either the spare tire in the bag like I have in my car that just sits in there, or maybe the kit that raises the trunk floor, really up to her since she does actually use the cargo space in her car. But we live in Richmond, definitely a good idea to have a spare tire. Up top, obviously typical luxury car. This is all very nice and lined. And this does have hinges, but they go down in these compartments, don't interfere with your cargo. And see, this is why I can't own another black car. Just every little place you touch it, there's fingerprints. Another thing too, I do need to get this touched up. I was just rushing to get this deal done by the end of the month, but I'm gonna take this back and get my body guy to do it. It will take him an hour. There are these, and I can tell this is how much of a car freak I am. I can tell this was a Volvo plate bracket, and these people owned like 5 Volvos. They totally just slammed into one of their cars in the driveway, but my parents aren't even worried about it because they park on the streets. That's gonna happen to it eventually anyway, but I'm still gonna get that touched up for her. Fuel caps on the passenger side, and everything else really follows through. I mean, if you guys have seen my car, pretty much the same as this. And up front, power passenger seat. See the Volvo door sills. And inside of here, this one includes all the original owner's manuals, everything like that. Very nice and documented. It even had a lot of the service tickets for it as well. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very happy to add this to our family fleet, and I'm excited for my parents. They both drive for work. They've both owned just as many terrible cars as I have. So I'm really happy I could put them in something like this, and I think it's going to be a great car for them. Now that's pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, I think if anyone has earned a car like this, it's my parents, and I'm so excited for them to have it. We got a fantastic deal on it. We've got a warranty if anything does go wrong, but they've owned Volkswagens for pretty much my entire life, so they already think dumping $1,000 into your car every 6 months is normal. But I think this will be a great car for them. I'm really excited to have it in the family fleet. And any videos you guys want to see of it, just let me know. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Any questions, comments, anything like that, drop them down below. And there will definitely be some more videos of this car on the channel.